Are we ready to see about how you tell quality-minded consumers that you are the company that can handle them? Do you believe that there are people who are willing to pay money if you give them a good value in exchange? Mm-hmm. Yeah. There are a lot of people willing to do it. They're lining up. During the peak season for the last 5 years of my business, I was completely booked at the end of October with a waiting list in January. It's because, and I was charging 65, half my clientele was at 70 cents per square foot cleanable space. There was a ton of work out there. But when the consumers who are willing to pay that look at advertising, they look at the industry, do they see your business? Because that's what we're going to talk about here. Now, you can have a gorgeous website, but does that reflect the quality of the business who's represented on it? No, it just shows that they had a good webmaster who had an artistic skill to make they don't know if that company is any good, but they can make some beautiful websites. So the website by itself is not an indicator because anybody, in a sense, could have that. And the consumers are learning that now. So there's something else that they have to be able to see that helps them know that you're the company they were looking for. And that's what we're going to cover here. We're going to talk about target your customers. In other words, you have to let them see that you are the business that they've been looking for the last 20 years. They've tried a different carpet cleaning company every year, and they've been frustrated. And then generally what they do is they settle for the least worst one they've had. Here's the question. You go to a party where especially if it's an area you don't work, and just go around and just ask people, do you have your carpets cleaned on a regular basis? And hopefully you're with people who they do that. And then they say, yeah. And then ask them the next question, say, what do you think of your carpet cleaner? They're going to give you a little bit of a strange look at that question. And then say, no, what do you think about him? Do you like him? Is he good, bad? And guess what they will say 80% of the time? He's okay. He's okay. Translated meaning, you show me somebody better and I am there. But they can't find that person. So what we need to do is get your business in a position, if that's the type of client you want, that we make it perfectly clear. And then the other reason we want to do this is because there's social review sites. It is possible for somebody to call you up and you tell them that you charge 40 cents per square foot cleanable space, and they go, that much? And they're going to write a review on Yelp saying how outrageously expensive you are. And now you got to deal with a negative review. You didn't even make any money off of this thing. Because he cannot believe that somebody could charge that much money for cleaning up his dirt. All right? So we got to make sure on both sides we don't want shoppers, assuming that you have a high-end one, we don't want shoppers. We want them to bounce off instantly. And we want the people who are willing to pay for quality to know they're in the right spot. Can you imagine walking into different dealerships, car dealerships, and you walk into a Maserati dealership? Do you feel uncomfortable walking into a Maserati dealership? I do. I can't go buy one. Yeah, I used to take care of Ferrari of Los Gatos. I had them as a janitorial account. And I used to spray buff between Maseratis and Ferraris, and I was good at spray buffing. Whoops, oh. Anyway, but anyway, there's certain dealerships you will feel like, I really don't belong here. Because they have set the environment to say, no, this is people who have a lot more money than Steve Marsh does to be here seriously. Please don't waste our salesman's time. Is the subtle message. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to tell whoever's we do not want, go somewhere else. And the people we want, we say, you're in the right place. So here are some things that we can do to make that come about. The first one is branding. What's branding? That's not a tricky question, but does anybody know, how would you describe what branding is?
Signature, calling card.
Calling card, logo. Logo's part of it.
Just consistency, getting your name out there, consistent logo, colors.
Consistency. That is a key element to professionalism. Is generally that if you look at a company that's branded, I was going to bring a Coke bottle. Coca-Cola is the best brand in the world, most recognized brand in the world. Google's, I think, catching up with it, but Coca-Cola. It is written in Arabic on the bottle. But at first glance, you would have assumed that was an American Coca-Cola bottle because they have written Arabic to its brand and everything else is identical, that you just make the assumption that is Coke.
Unless you're in China.
Then it would be in Chinese, and then it would look. Yeah,
Then don't drink it.
so that's branding, and that's a startup company, a mom and pop that just haven't given much thought to marketing, are not branded. Bill, I think when you first started working with me, did we meet in the San Jose Jet Center back then? Do you remember? Yes. Do you remember one time I had everybody come in and line up all their printed materials along the wall? And then we analyzed those materials. We said, first of all, do you have the correct pieces? Is there something missing? And then we looked at them all in a row, and you said, does it look like those all belong to the same company? Because that's the easiest thing you can do, is just standardize your brand, and you will look far more professional than if you didn't do that. When I get a new company as a client, I make up a brand profile for that company. So I'll take their logo. It's a company in Georgia. And so then I'll take the logo and then I'll say, all right, I want to know what are the colors in his logo. And now if you have Microsoft program, you just put the eyedropper over it, put it there, and then you can say, what color is that? And it'll tell you the RGB and other variations, Pantone. You can get some other information about what that color is. Now from here on out, every time we have the color, it is going to be specifically that color. And we don't want any variations. Then I'm going to get his picture. So that's the same picture, but one's with a background, one's not. I'm going to put that. So I'm going to use that consistently through all of his materials. Then I'm going to take whatever associations or groups that they might have, and I'm going to put those, and these are the logos that are going to be consistently used throughout his pieces. And now, more than ever, because of SEO, you want consistency in the telephone number and how you write your address. Your SEO person will charge you a lot of money to go to every place online in the World Wide Web that has your address written differently. So you want to have consistency in your contact information. And then the final part is I would say, what are the fonts that we're going to use on all this printed materials? And this particular guy is Arial and Comic Sans MS. Okay? And so now if I'm going to have some signage made for this company, I would just email them this form. And now that graphics person has everything they need to know to make that company branded and consistent. So I would suggest everybody go home and just simply do that. And that will help. And then you go through and look and say, line up all your materials. Which ones look like they belong to another company? And you can go a lot further into this to even the style of paper you use. There's lots more details, but if you just do this, what happens is your company starts looking like it was thought out. I know that guy.
Hey, there it is.
There it is. But you see, the only thing that's changed on these is really the logo and the colors. That's branding. You do that, you start to get the customer you want. They can't tell you consciously what it is, but inside in their gut, something starts to feel pretty good. Somebody has thought through their business. It's just consistent. Okay, the message. do we have a different message we want to feed one set of customers? And I'm comparing the shoppers versus what I called exclusive. Everybody understand why I call it exclusive? Because they're only calling me. It's either a repeat or it was referred to me. So there isn't a second telephone number that they're concerned with. So these are really the repeat referral clients that make me the most money. How much more money? A lifetime? 100 times more. So is there a different message for those two groups? That would be good to know. Because most people have one marketing plan, one message, and it's generally what made sense to them. Most companies starting out ask themselves a very logical question. Or if I were looking for a carpet cleaner, where would I look? And then they ask the next question, what would I want? Low price. Well, we'll just go actually talk about that in a second. Okay, so what we need to do is to realize that there's a difference between those two groups. We need to separate them out and know perfectly clear which appeals to which group. So once you recognize that there's a difference, if you're a new business, you might be marketing to both of those groups at the same time, sort of depending on the situation. And you can be marketing, in a sense, with some of the things like a low introductory price, but offering all the warm fuzzies that somebody looking for a professional company wants. And we'll show you some examples. So we have the shoppers and the exclusive. We want to say, what marketing themes does a shopper see that makes them say, I want that? First one, powerful equipment. There you go. Why would they need powerful equipment? Because it's only been 17 years since it was cleaned last. They know darn well you have to scoop that out with a shovel before you can begin to see the fibers to clean them. So they need power. Yeah. So when you say, oh man, you have to stand on the rug when I'm cleaning to keep it from being sucked up into my machine. And new carpet cleaners, what are they into? There's just like power, This is the thing they talk about, right? And what do they put into their advertising? I got the biggest machine, right? They're proud of that, rightly so. What's the next thing? Low price. Was carpet cleaning my priority in life? Obviously not, if I waited 17 years to do it again, right? Okay, so it's probably, and it could be a budget concern, or maybe I just don't think it's worth it, or this is a rental house, who really cares? So low price is very important, but they don't want just the lowest price. They want the equipment that can do the job. They're not just giving away their money. They want something in exchange for it. I like to term it, they want the most that they can get for the least amount of money. All right. Speedy service. Now, we talked about this a little bit in the first half. Why do they need speedy service? Mom's coming. Yeah, there's an event. And they didn't plan ahead. So it's like, can you get here in an hour? All right, so speedy service. If you say, I am booked up for 2 months, they just laugh. and no way, I can't wait that long. I'll be divorced by then, So it's kind of like, no, we need it now. And so, which is convenient for a startup company because they have nothing better to do. So they can be out there that day. Oh, here's the other one. Okay, they got the power, they got the low price, they can do it today, and they got guarantees. Most thorough cleaning ever, or it's free. Oh, yeah. Do you think they're going to complain? Here is something that you got out 99% of the spots. This thing has not been touched with anything. They didn't even have a vacuum. And there's one spot left. What are they going to be asking for?
Can you come back and touch that?
Be free, give me my money back. All right, so they are the most picky people in the world, paying the least amount of money. Don't you just love to get up in the morning and go service people like that? And then the final one, what do they want to see, is incredibly dramatic before and after photos. And boy, I love the internet. You can see so much stuff so quickly. There are some before pictures that I go, just burn it. You know, it's kind of like, really? But these people see those and they go, somebody's carpets are worse than mine. And they just kind of get a reinforcement. I could have gone another 5 years, you know? So this is what they thrive on. They start to drool when they see these things in ads. They go, yeah. Okay. That makes sense.